quick. First off, though, while we're waiting for our oatmeal and stuff to cool down, uh, I'm thinking Burning Bard Hybrid Nasus could potentially be a thing in this. I don't know if we're actually going to continue to play League of Legends. Mainly because I'm just helping this chick out that I knew on Discord a while back. She's been in bronze for as long as I've known her. And she hangs out with high elo players and stuff all the time, but she's never been able to climb. So I've been kind of helping out a little bit with that, and with that, we have to slowly learn a little bit over the game. Uh, and I probably won't be on very long. I'm just eating a little breakfast, and then I got to pay my property taxes here in a little bit. So just want to see what skin options that we have here. So what I'm thinking is I want to go and do a Braum, or not a Braum, a Bard build. Okay? And most people that build Bard, let's just go in here real quick and find Bard. Okay. Can I not look at him? Is there collection? Bard? So, this is Bard. So he's a traveler. You can see that his utility is high. His crowd control is also high because his alt has a stasis effect. His mobility is medium, apparently. So, utility wise with him, he's a very odd champion. That's kind of hard to build around. Not necessarily in the fact that he's bad, but he's kind of not the best. Because essentially most champions have um, like healing and shielding abilities or a lot of damage. The most similar champion I can think of to Bard is Karma, but Karma has a lot more like AoE shield, AoE heal, AoE movement speed, and AoE burst damage. And she has like targeted stuns. Bard, he has one damage ability really that people have used, and people always use like electrocute or tankier kind of stats with him for the most part. And they usually either build him like burst damage or they build him with support items. And if you build him as support items, he does get benefit from his meeps that he collects, but he's a very odd champion in that it's kind of hard to kind of get him down. And I'm thinking about instead of going like QWE when I'm playing him, maybe when I go in lane, I put like 2 or 3 points into Q, and then like put 1 point into E or something, and come back around to like leveling W. But the problem is when you build him support, a lot of times you don't really have any AP scaling on him. His ultimate's like a good utility. It's also a counter versus Rift Herald. So uh, he has healing and he has damage somewhat, but I would say that his damage comes from scaling, which requires him to collect chimes, which gives him movement speed that allows him to go ward and clear lanes and stuff a lot faster. So with all of that in mind, I'm thinking, especially like right now, like used to people built him as um, a burst support, so they would land like a Q, hit him with an auto attack, you get the electrocute proc, you get like a Luden's proc, and you could still do that with Bard right now. But tank items are really strong, so I'm thinking we need to build Bard more of like a tank utility. I'm not gonna do like uh, Rylai's or anything like that. I think we need to go Demonic Embrace first item with boots. We can either go Moby boots or we could go like Sorcerer Pin boots or something like that. Potentially keep Flash on him, although I'm thinking less and less about Flash and more about teleport or ghost, just because it'll give him more roaming capabilities and it's a little bit safer for him. And he has an E anyway, so if you can E through a wall or something like that and activate ghost, you should be fine, I would say. And then another thing is when you build support items, you don't tend to get a bunch of AP, which makes your W really weak. But then if you go and you level your W, it does have good healing early, and if you build HP into it, it can be decent. But, and then for build path, I'm thinking Demonic Embrace. I know with Support Bard, people are building that HP healing item right now, but that thing only activates when you ult, although Bard does like having low ult cooldown, which Ultimate Hunter really helps with, and that's like his main thing right there. Uh, I'm not fully sold on it. Uh, on the healing item, for instance, it seems good, but every time I've used it in a game, you have to have quite a lot of HP to make good value of it. And as far as I know, Bard doesn't really have a lot of HP in general. And then if you try to build it, it's just going to take you forever to get that done. So, and then the other thing is that his meeps, his damage multiplies the more chimes that he gets. So as the game goes on, the more chimes you get, the more powerful you're going to get. And I think it's something that people kind of underestimate on Bard. It's like his unique ability, whereas like all of his abilities are on his passive. And once you get a bunch of chimes, I mean they've nerfed him multiple times for this, but the chimes have AOE damage, they have AOE slow, they can recharge very quickly towards the end of the game. They give you movement speed to move around the map, So you want a good amount of healing. So like if we look right here, Meeps. Bard's attack Bard attracts lesser spirits that assist with his basic attacks to deal extra magic damage. When Bard has collected enough chimes, his Meeps will also deal damage in an area and slow enemies hit. Ancient chimes randomly appear for Bard to collect. These grant experience, restore mana, provide out of combat movement speed. So I think what we need to do with Bard is we need as much movement speed as possible. And I would prefer some sort of tankier stat or something that could be a little bit more useful with burning. So I don't think that he could necessarily stack Conqueror good enough. So that's probably not the best. Press the attack could potentially be good. Um, but then again, it's only going to proc after he gets 3 auto attack, so it won't be the best on him early into the game. Then you have like fleeting footwork, which is okay, but it's not going to really add much damage value to him. Let me find my rune pages real quick. That's a lot of keys. Holy crap. Didn't know I had that many keys, to be honest. Got some more keys, some blue essence, make another key. Let's open these. Got Olaf, Galio. Bunch of champions. So gotta open this one. Some more keys. Blood Demon Ward. Okay. Right, bring your cane. I don't even know if that's good, to be honest. Let's go ahead and open these up. Sejuani. Debonair LeBlanc. I don't know if that's good either. So, a little iffy. So let's go to... It has to be collection, right? Yeah, collection, ruins. Boom is that? on a soul standard. I don't think we need this anyway. I'm not sure. Oh, this is Leona. Yeah, this was Leona's page. All right, so Bard test. So Conqueror, basic attacks and spells that deal damage to enemy champions. Grant 2 stacks of Conqueror for 5 seconds, granting 2 stacks up to 12 times. Ranged champions gain only 1 stack. So this isn't going to be the best, I don't think, for Bard. Potentially lethal tempo could be decent because you're getting 60 to 90% melee or 30 to 54% ranged attack speed for 6 seconds when you attack an enemy champion. This effect stacks up to 6 times. So 30% up to 6 times is like 186. Your attack's going to see 2.5 seconds and you gain 50 attack range. So you gain additional range and speed. So lethal tempo, potentially here, but with this, I would say Presence of Mind would give us more mana regen. Alacrity would give us even more attack speed. So if we're going with this page, I would go for more attack speed, but we know Bard wants a lot of movement speed and that he likes ultimate speed. So if we look at this, I mean, boots, but this will take us a little bit longer to get activated in game, but it would also decrease the price that it costs us to build our build. We can also get approach velocity, which would give us more movement speed to movement impaired enemies, which would help us stay on target with meeps. Potentially, you could do like a biscuit delivery or the dematerializer to help push side lanes or something towards the end of the game. Future market could be good. Glacial's not really super beneficial. First strike isn't really that big of a deal. Spellbook's pretty okay. And then we'll go to Resolve Tree. Grasp is okay, but it doesn't really have a bunch of damage potential. It could be decent on Bard. I could see if you're able to stack this and go for like a tankier build setup, but we're not necessarily going for a tankier build setup. The extra HP would be nice. Um, Font of Life could be good. This would also work with our meeps later on into the game, so this would be pretty strong. Demolisher could help us press turrets early. And then like conditioning and all this would make us tankier, and then we could potentially get more health and more healing, but with Bard we're probably going to want to kind of rotate around. And then so if we go into Domination Tree, which has the Ultimate Hunter, which we like, or it has Relentless Hunter, which would increase our movement speed. And between these two, I'm a little split because Ultimate Hunter is going to give us a lot more ultimates, and I think that's a very powerful skill in this game, especially with Bard. But Relentless Hunter is going to be giving us quite a lot more movement speed on Bard, which could be very powerful, I think, just for roaming potential. Whereas Ultimate Hunter, I mean, it has uses for sure, but people people say that you have to use this on Bard because it's like a very important skill. Like if he doesn't have his ultimate, then he's basically worthless. If we're able to make him more worthwhile, then I don't think we necessarily need it. And the extra movement speed will help us a lot in game potentially. This also would activate Zombie Ward or Ghost Poro. Potentially, I would want Zombie Ward here to get more wards on the map. Then we could also get more healing, or we could get cheap shot for more damage because this is every 4 seconds, so that could be pretty decent as well. And then, but for electrocute, still a good ability on Bard. You hit a Q, you hit one auto attack, it procs. So this is a very easy thing that you could use. Predator would give us a lot more movement speed, so this would be basically like a ghost. So you increase movement speed, ramping up to 25 to 50% movement speed over 1 second while chasing enemy champions. So I don't know if this works the same way as it used to because it says while chasing enemy champions. Now, Dark Harvest would give Bard a little bit more late game scaling potentially, I would assume. Because damaging an enemy champion below 50% health deals adaptive damage and harvests their soul permanently, increasing Dark Harvest damage by 5. And this is doing 20 to 60%. Or 20 to 20 to 60 damage, which would be a lot less early, a lot more later. But then we also have this, where we're gaining 110% attack speed when you attack an enemy champion for up to 3 attacks. No more than 3 seconds can eclipse between attacks, or this effect will end. Cooldown is 12 seconds. Attack resets increase the attack limit by 1, allowing you to temporarily exceed the attack speed limit. So 12-second cooldown on this seems pretty strong. With Bard, this could potentially be very strong for burst with the meeps. 12 seconds also is a fairly short cooldown compared to Electrocute. I'm not exactly sure that this is going to help very much with like burning with our stuff, but it looks like you don't necessarily have to be out of combat with this, so I think this is potential between Hail of Blades and Predator. But we also look and see, like, over here, we could get a Phase Rush, which hitting an enemy champion with 3 attacks or separate abilities within 4 seconds grants 15 to 40% movement speed based on level and 75% slow resistance, and it's increased to 30 to 60% movement speed for melee champions. So we're only going to be getting 15 to 40%. The duration is 3 seconds, and the cooldown's 30 seconds to 10 seconds. But this should activate similar to Electrocute. So when this hits, we should be able to hit a Q, hit an auto attack, and then reposition fairly quickly. So this could also help keep us alive, which I like quite a lot. It would help us, keep junglers off of us, and stuff like that. It would help us getting chimes early. So this is potentially something that could be very powerful. Um, I think you could also maybe auto attack twice with a meep and then proc this and position yourself for a Q. But the damage to a champion with an ability hurls a comet at their location. If Arcane Comet is on cooldown, reduce its remaining cooldown, deals 30 to 100 damage based on level. So 30 to 100 damage for this was 30 to 180, and this has 25 to a 20-second cooldown. And this one is 20 to 8 seconds. So I think damage-wise, Comet would probably beat out the other stats. And then if we're not necessarily worried about attacking very fast, because we could potentially, if we were going to go the phase rush route, this gives you 20% movement speed for 1 second. And this is going to be giving us about, a similar effect early for 3 seconds and a 30-second cooldown. So it's kind of iffy, but, lethal tempo or like alacrity with would give us a lot more attack speed. I just don't think this tree is necessarily as good. So it depends on what we're looking for here. This is going to give us more damage. This is going to give us more. But we also have our ADC to consider here as well. Like this would help us poke. These would all help us poke and roam. But Phase Rush not only allows us to stay safer while going into the enemy jungle, potentially, but say a lane gank happened and we Q and auto attack somebody, we could potentially proc a phase rush and let us reposition to a portal a lot quicker, which could be very good. And this could also help us do like ultimate outplays maybe. So potentially we start with phase rush. Then we look at nullifying orb. We have mana flow ban, but you get mana when you get meeps. After casting a summer spell, gaining a movement speed increase that lasts for 2 seconds and allows you to pass through units. Increase 5% to 25% movement speed based on the summer spell's cooldown. Higher cooldown summoner spells grant more movement speed, so potentially Nimbus Coke would be better. I'm just curious about that. Transcendence, I mean, cooldown reduction is nice, but if we're going true to the movement speed, and also with Bard's, when he was first created, his little video they came out with, celerity here. Bonuses give you 7% more effective speed on you, and you gain 1% movement speed. I think that's pretty interesting. And then here, I mean, you got Scorch for a little bit extra damage early. You got Gathering Storm or you got Water Walking, but that's another 25 movement speed and an adaptive bonus of 18 to 30 ability power. So I'm probably just going to try that. And then when we come over these trees, Ultimate Hunter versus Relentless Hunter, but this is giving us 5 movement speed out of combat plus 8 per bounty hunter stack. So that's 45 additional out of combat movement speed. And then we put that on top of Moby Boots, which I think gives us like 115. So this is 45, potentially 70 right there, plus the 1% bonus up to 7% bonus, plus this, plus Phase Rush. I mean, that's a lot of movement speed. But if we go Relentless Hunter, I would just not use any of these. I think we go for Zombie Ward. Um, my thing here is that I think what we have is you get XP from Bard's Meeps, and you get XP for killing wards. So if I have the movement speed to leave my ADC and go collect meeps or chimes a lot faster and safer, then potentially I can clear wards across the map, get more XP on top of my chime XP, while my ADC is also getting extra XP, and I kind of like that. So at this point, there could be a weak spot here because Bard, he doesn't really have a lot of damage, especially early, especially if I build him like this. Um, so he might be a little bit too weak without some sort of damaging ruin or something like that. If that happens to be the case, then I would probably just go phase rush. But build path wise, I really want to try demonic embrace. I think it's still going to be quite expensive compared to a support item. But it's giving you HP and it's giving you AP. HP is going to make us a lot harder to kill. The AP is going to help us with our W healing, help us with our Q damage and our meep damage, I would assume. And then if we do bad, we can go the Protean, which is the defensive tank item that siphons HP, which could be interesting. Potentially a Zhonya's, stuff like that. And then if we want more offensive things, then potentially maybe a Leandries or some other sort of AP item or even a support item if we really want to. So I think this can be quite interesting. And then build wise, I kind of want to go Ghost and then potentially Teleport, to be honest, but Ignite could also be a really strong thing to have, as well as Smite is pretty strong to have as well. Teleport would allow us to roam a lot more effectively, though, but Ignite is going to give us a lot more kill pressure in lane. So, I mean, this is a toss-up for me at the moment. I think I'm going to go Teleport just to see. And then we're going to keep this ruin page. So this is only going to be the first game. Potentially. Now, I think with all the movement speed that we have, Moby Boots first item, and then we're gonna hope that our phase rush gives us enough in and out combat movement speed and fights to kind of bob and weave out of combat and be able to get some burn damage off with Bard, and potentially be able to weaken my enemy enough to actually kill them or at least give me some sort of more support. The main thing is that bards in the past built burst items like Ludens, but a lot of the champions now have a lot of healing and HP, stuff like that. So it's not necessary. I think it would be better just to have the percent HP burn, potentially in Morello's. Um, maybe even like a Rod of Ages could be decent on Bard, but I'd prefer to have more HP burn, to be honest. But we're not going to have nearly as much damage in lane for sure. So I'm almost tempted to go like What would it even be? Comet, I think, would give you the most overall damage. But now, channel for 4 seconds. We need to see how long Bard's ult lasts, because potentially we could shoot our ult at somebody and teleport and get there as they're getting out of it, potentially. That would be an interesting combo. We have enough movement speed, and we should be able to get enough slows with our meeps to actually, keep people in line once we get moving. But we're gonna need our Q, and then I think we're gonna need our E. I don't know necessarily if we need a lot of our E. I don't think we need to max E first. I think the W is going to give us a lot more utility. Out of this, I'm probably just going to go Spell Sieves. It seems potentially with this, we could go either Spell Sheaves or we could go for the other item, to be honest.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Because let me just look at the support items real quick. Yeah, so 5 ability power, 30 health. It gives us health regen. This is giving us mana regen, a lot less health. More ability power. Same amount of gold, but we get gold per hit on this. This is going up by, 60 something.
Minions have spawned.
It has a 30% on the mimes. So we're able to get more auto attacks with the phase proc. That's kind of interesting, because we're actually able to run them down. So that's pretty nice.
Witness the singularity.
Let's go ahead and get some of this down. A lot more damage than I expected, to be honest.
An ally has been slain.
Doing a lot more than I expected, to be honest. I really need to get more damage on this Katarina, because she's going to heal.
An enemy has been slain.
You get some meeps. I think think if I used Ghost there, probably would have been better. This goes... Mana goes up. No, mana goes the same. Cooldown goes by 2 seconds. Base heal goes up by 25. Max heal goes up by like 30. The damage goes up here as well, so... There is that. Not bad. Let's go collect some old chimes over here, potentially.
An ally has been slain.
Level 6 already, that's nuts. So I didn't have to leave lane. That's pretty strong. So what, we get boots, and then we need to look up the demonic embrace. Demonic.
An ally has been slain.
He got set in the bag. 100%. I like all this extra movement speed. Extra movement speeds, faster chimes, less potential for the ADC to fuck something up. I don't know if we help here. Not go through that. Where's this Katarina at? swore she would have been in there. I actually like this movement speed a lot. I like this movement speed really a whole lot.
An enemy has been slain.
I like it. New Bard build? 100%? No? Yes? Maybe? I don't have access to as many ults, but I feel like my power spike is jumping pretty quickly, to be honest.
Killing spree.
God dang it, I missed one auto. Missed one auto. I could go Evening Shroud as well. I mean, this is potentially, 10% damage. Come on, Jinx. I believe she could have dodged it. She could have dodged that. I don't know if I make that, to be honest. Let's go up this way. Let's go to top. Oh my god. That was a 3-man ulti.
Will soon fall.
I mean, so potentially we could use the other support item. We have access to Evening Shroud for extra damage for our ally. But we have to immobilize to make this to work, which is why I don't like it so much.
An enemy
And
has
then
been slain.
Imperial Mandate can work for anything, and this gives us more movement speed, so maybe Imperial Mandate. would be a better item. If we wanted to go for a support item, extra movement speed, 6 seconds recharge.
Has been slain.
Damn. It's alright. Distracted him long enough. That's Bard, man. We're the distraction of the team. That's what we do. This is the thing. Protect champion attacks or abilities in combat. You heal 60 to the most wounded nearby ally. I think that's an interesting thing to have, to be honest. Let's go back and look at demonic embrace. So we need 815 gold to get done with that. I don't necessarily feel strong, but I kind of felt strong early, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not really doing a lot of damage, but I feel like I have a lot of map presence. You know? See if there's any wards over here for us. I doubt it, but potentially.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Shut down.
Very dangerous spot to be in as a bard. Like, maybe I'm like a mix between Singed and a support, you know? So Kane's over there. I have split push potential.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Might not be very strong, but we do have it. This is why I kind of want to build like a Nashor's Tooth, though. I feel like I want some extra attack speed. I don't feel safe here. I I think we gotta go. I know Lux is coming. For sure. Let's get this chime real quick. We're like a Sins the Sashin support guy. That's what I'm feeling. So we need to get this. I probably should have got that earlier. And then we were wanting to build, I guess, Imperial Mandate. Extra attack speed.
An enemy has been slain.
I think we teleport back into this. I think this is interesting. Kind of want some, like, some reduction.
An enemy has been slain.
See if we can get this chime real quick. Like a little bit more money. Slowly regen our HP, collect some chimes, I think we'll be good.
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
Damn.
An enemy has been slain.
It'd be good if we had a ward there. People. Alright, so what do we build after this? We go Turbo Hull Chem Tank, which would give us more movement speed and a slowdown shockwave. Or, I mean, I think we need to do something with like attack speed, to be honest. But Mage. Morello's. I really want an Asher's Tooth and a Zonia's, to be honest. I think we have to go Morello's and Zonia's probably. Get some Grievous for my team, you know? get in here, boys.
Your turret has been destroyed.
I think the Morello's going to help a decent bit for their healing, especially Aatrox. I don't know, see, like, look at that. Max heal's 200, so you get 300 and something there. But this thing, you know, cooldown going down a couple seconds.
Has destroyed a turret.
Oh, rough. Not gonna lie. Tad rough there.
An ally has been slain. Killing spree.
Interesting time that we got going on here for sure. Better go ahead and finish this dragon, Jesus. What we got going on here? So we need a little bit more for the Morello, and I think we just go with the other things. We're not getting a bunch of damage off of this, but we're getting something. There's something going on there. This right here we got more bonus damage off of. So 40, 200. It's probably more efficient, to be honest. It's giving us movement speed, it's giving us damage, HP, and AP. But if we built the different, like, top tier items, I think it would have been a lot different, to be honest. Let's grab ourselves some chimes real quick, you know. Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go, like, right now. Holy crap. I really think Canasher's Tooth would be good, to be honest. Even like Lynchbane. I mean, this is giving me 8% movement speed bonus right here. Grants 15% speed, decaying, and 40 ability power until exiting combat. Like, we get huge movement speed bonuses here. I think we should take those. Movement speed bonus would give us a lot of split pushing potential. I think for this, let's just go for the Cosmic Drive. And then potentially we could replace like the Demonic Embrace with the Cosmic Drive. Or the Lynchbane. Damn. 5% movement speed off an 850 item. I don't know if these stack, but like the actual items themselves should. Let's see, we're already at 531 movement speed. So right now, technically, we should be able to hit this, go take top wave, then go collapse down through river. Maybe.
Slain an enemy. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
That's done.
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
Oh my god. I didn't think Kane was going to be there. This is going to get 15% movement speed with Cosmic Drive, you know, and this plus, and then on top of that, 5% movement speed. That's like 20% movement speed buff. These are movement speed AP items for sure. And there's not a whole lot of champions I think could take advantage of that besides Bard.
An ally has been slain.
And if a split push with Bard, that means that we're going to have more money. Should be kind of interesting. I don't know if we fight the Aatrox here. We could definitely hold the wave here, though. I think we definitely can hold the wave
An enemy has been slain.
We can definitely hold this.
Rampage.
At 12,000 something, so pretty on par right now. This is a very back and forth, and I don't necessarily like it. I think my Bard can outplay their team with his speed, and I feel like this is Bard's purpose, you know, because I could hold this and outrun anybody, probably even Hecarim, to a team fight. So the question becomes, what's the best thing to use to split push? And we could use the energized attack from the precision tree, technically. But we'd lose a lot of passive movement speed, which I'm not sure I want to do. taking Baron. Look at this split power potential. Of course he's that fast. Why wouldn't he be that fast, you know? Why wouldn't he be? 100% think this is supposed to be Bard's playstyle, though, is the split push. I think this is how you're supposed to play Bard, for sure. I don't know why anyone's never tried this before. His kit, it's almost, it seems almost built for split pushing now that I think about it. I mean, his E is basically like a Tryndamere, like E, but maybe better, except for it doesn't do damage. And then he gets passive movement speed inside of the enemy jungle. I mean, the teleport wasn't necessarily as effective as I think I thought it was supposed to be. So potentially we could go like Ghost Flash. I think the teleport has potential. It did save my life a couple times, but man, the amount of pressure I was putting on the map after getting my meeps and the speed helped me get more meeps, which helped me put more pressure. You know, definitely turning into a split pusher later into the game is quite nice. I don't know if it's necessary for me to have the phase rush though. It does help me a little bit, but Comet or something else would give me more damage, and Predator would give me more movement speed as well. But I don't know the range of Predator now. It doesn't seem like Predator would be the best. It seems like maybe Hail of Blades over Comet. I'm thinking Hail of Blades. Because Hail of Blades is going to give you 3 auto attacks very quickly, which would proc everything on Bard extremely fast and allow me to get all of my damage off as quickly as possible and then get out. But I wouldn't have the phase rush, and I think the phase rush was helping me quite a bit early into the game because the phase rush was allowing me to chase them and get an extra auto attack in. But then again, that wasn't an ADC in the bot lane; it was just a normal uh, assassin, so an ADC is going to be able to chase me a lot easier if we're going to be completely frank. But I like it. I like the movement speed. I like the pressure that it has on the map. Um, I think this is a new take on Bard that nobody's really tried. But I do think that we potentially might need to find a better item. I think Imperial Mandate is fine for him, to be honest, but the fact that we can't proc it unless we have a teammate there could be bad for us. But it does give them bonus and me a bonus. Um, so in that I'm fine. Potentially we drop demonic. Yeah, I think maybe we drop demonic if we're not necessarily going for player damage and we're going for split pushing potential. We don't need the burn. So in that case, then really all we need to do is kind of troll them with really fast movement speed, become a giant nuisance on the map to kind of chase around like Singed, and then at that point, I think we'd be fine. So Cosmic Drive, all the movement speed procking items, I think could be good. Even Luden's could potentially be good there. And then Nashor's Tooth would be a really good split push item, but we know that Lynchbane and Cosmic Drive give us passive movement speed and active movement speed, so that's going to give us a whole lot more. Phase Rush gives us movement speed. I don't think there's any way they're going to be able to necessarily defeat us in the jungle if they can't catch us. We're already getting, you know, 160, 170 movement speed plus with just the boots and the Relentless Hunter. So that's pretty crazy. And then 7% increase for the other stuff. I mean, but we'll test this out a little bit more. I gotta, eat breakfast and get ready to go to the courthouse, I guess, and pay my property tax and all that.